I want to talk about me being ADHD. My mind is constantly going. I constantly feel overwhelmed. And I'm learning that that's just how my brain works, how my mind works. So, yeah, like I got so many things going on, right? There's so many things that I want to do. So like all the ideas and all the things I have to do, work, family, kids, the brand, all kinds of stuff, it's like a constant just overwhelming feeling. And I find it easy to like sleep, you know what I mean? I wouldn't say that I'm losing sleep, because also being ADHD, like by the end of the day my brain is exhausted. Or by the end of my day, because I wake up early sometimes, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning. Then I go to sleep early, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. And when I'm, and it's like, when I'm tired, I'm tired. I'll just, I'll just lay down wherever I'm at. Usually in a bed, my kids spend a lot of time with me. So if I'm laying down in the bed and they're jumping on the bed, playing on the bed and stuff like that, watching TV at the same time, because they like to be in my room or where I'm at. If I'm in the living room, they're in the living room with me. It's like everywhere I go in the house, they're there with me. It's a cool thing. So anyways, like if wherever I'm at, I'll just lay down. I find myself just laying down and just starting to close my eyes and go to sleep. And my daughter's like, "Are you going to sleep, Daddy?" She already knows. She already knows me. She already knows once I lay down and have that look, she already knows, okay, he's going to sleep. And she's cool because she'll let me go. She'll turn off the TV, she'll turn off the lights and stuff, and I'll just go to sleep. There, I'll go to sleep and I'll wake up in the morning like, oh shoot, I fell asleep early. But so it's not like being back to my original thought, which is being overwhelmed constantly. It's not that I'm overwhelmed so much that I lose sleep over it, because my mind does that for me. It'll shut down. Like it's ready to shut. It's time to shut down. It's time to shut down. If I try to force myself, it just won't work because my brain is tired. Excuse me. I'm drinking some chai tea, green tea this morning. I'm getting over a cold, a flu, cold, sickness, whatever you want to call it. And these are my days off from work. Merry Christmas, by the way. Today's December 26, 2024. Yeah, so and sometimes I'm like, man, why am I overwhelmed? Why am I always overwhelmed? And I gotta remember, like, okay, your brain is wired a certain way. It's like you're always gonna be like this, okay? So I have to figure out how to keep going, basically. How do I keep going with my mind being like this? How do I continue to move forward, to progress, on the daily things that I'm doing? I'm a father, I'm a husband, I go to work. I manage a few properties. I own a brand. I do all these things, and excuse me, sometimes it's overwhelming to the point to where it's just like, I'm so overwhelmed, I get like paralysis, how they say paralysis of the analysis, but it's like paralysis of the overwhelming, the paralysis of being overwhelmed. Like all these things that I have to do, boom, boom, hit me at once, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna lay down and just scroll through TikTok. Okay, one of the things that here comes the second section, which is how do I deal with this? Okay, the way I deal with being overwhelmed with all the things that I have to do, I make a list. I try to, and then the things that I need to prioritize, like that I need to do right away, like say take out the trash. That goes at the top of the list or whatever. I need to put fuel in my truck. Boom, write it down. Make a list of all the things that I need to do. And I have a little small pocket journal that I keep in my computer bag. I always take my computer bag with me to work. And I write down a list of things that I need to do. And I'm not perfect. Like I'll forget about that. Like that little, I'll hold that little pocketbook for, like I'll look at it for like maybe five days at the most. And then once my life continues on, I forget about the book. And then I get into that state of like being overwhelmed again, scrolling through TikTok, and I forget about all these things. I mean, it's kind of like I'm autopilot mode where I'm doing the necessity things that I need to do. Going to work, spending time with family, working on my brand. It's like you're my autopilot on these uncertain things. But there's other long-term goals that need to be addressed that I forget about. So I need to go, and then I find myself going back to that journal and remembering what I wrote down. Oh, okay. I have to remember the things that I'm working on. So, like for instance, upkeeping my home. Gotta rake the leaves. Gotta mow the lawn. I gotta repaint the wall that I had to. I had to replaster a wall that was chipping inside my house. So I cleaned it up. I put the putty. I put all that stuff. Now I need to paint it. You know what I mean? Just little stuff like that. So it's like I need to, for one, I know for sure that I need to know that being overwhelmed is normal for a person like me with ADHD. It's not, and I'm always constantly like, man, maybe there's something wrong. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. No, like that's just how my brain is. My brain is wired. So I have to remind myself like this is normal. Being overwhelmed is normal, right? And I noticed too, like, another thing about myself is that when I'm under pressure, and it's gotta get, like, when I'm under pressure to get something done, I get it done. Like, I'll force myself to do it, to be able to do that. Like, when I'm pressured to do it, I do it, and I do it quickly, I do it well. It's like muscle memory, if you do some things so many times and then you're pressurized to do it, it just goes quickly and just goes fast. Otherwise, like if I'm just learning it, or if it's just something that's monotonous, I'll be slow, I'll take my time. And that's the thing too, like people get impatient with me when I'm first learning something, because I do it slowly so I can process it. The good thing about me is that when I learn stuff, once I got it, I got it. Yeah, I got it down. You put me under pressure, I can do it. And that's just the thing with, and I think it's people with ADHD, ADD, in general. People think that we're slow, It's not that. It's just my mind is wired like that. It's wired in that sense. So being distracted, being overwhelmed, it's just a part of my life. It's just a part of my life. One thing that helps out when I'm overwhelmed to the sense where I become very anxious and I start worrying, that's when I know I need to go to the gym to relieve some stress, to transfer all that nervous energy to my muscles. You know what I mean? That the caveat is you become more healthy, to be able to withstand physical things physically that I need to take care of. Like say at work, I gotta lift hoses, I gotta do these different things, and then once I'm finished working out, I usually work out for an hour. I do a full body workout. I work out my entire body. When I finish, I'm like, oh, I feel relieved. I feel relieved, and I'm like, okay, it's like a reset. Like, okay, you've been overwhelmed to the point where you've gotten anxious, you've gotten nervous, you got stress. Once I work out, it's like, it's relieved. It's like, okay, now I can go on being overwhelmed still like before, but not stressed out about it, or not worried about it, or not anxious about it. That's the good thing about working out for people like me that have ADHD, is that working out helps with that stress, with that anxiety that comes with being overwhelmed constantly. Because you'll like, I'll get overwhelmed, I'll get anxious and nervous, and like, and my wife will, it'll affect my environment at home, my wife and my kids, because I haven't worked out. I've been nothing but overthinking, overwhelmed, overthinking while at work. I get home, I'm stressed out from all this overthinking, all this being overwhelmed, and I take it out on my kids and my wife, unsuspectingly, and like and then I remind myself sometimes too, I need to go work out. I need to relieve some of this stress. And even my wife tells me, she knows me already. She's like, you need to go to the gym. You need to go work out, because it's affecting us. It's affecting our household right now. Go blow off some steam, basically. And it helps. It's very helpful for my marriage. I mean, and that's another topic too, which I'll talk about probably in another episode, as far as being married with ADD, ADHD, and how to live with a partner that has it, or that may not have it, that is with the partner that has it. Hopefully that'll be helpful for you guys. But as far as being overwhelmed, this is just my spiel on it right now. So hopefully this helps you guys. Stay tuned for some more videos. If this is helpful, leave a comment down below, share it with somebody you think might need it, somebody that's always constantly overwhelmed. You're not alone. It's just a part of being ADHD. It's a part that's just part of the territory, and you just gotta learn how to navigate it. Appreciate y'all. Later.